what if what if we could just redesign society from the ground up? Imagine a world where, what you contribute actually shapes your life, your quality of life, in really direct ways.
It's a fascinating thought experiment, isn't it? And it taps into something deep, I think, this desire we have to build something better, fairer, maybe?
But today, that's exactly what we're diving into, a
Yeah.
really detailed vision. A listener sent us this, well, frankly, amazing collection of documents. It outlines a whole societal blueprint called ERADA,
Right.
and it covers everything. I mean, everything.
The scope is, it's genuinely impressive. We're talking detailed economic plans, security structures, governance models, social interaction apps, even specific technological inventions. It's quite the package.
Absolutely. We've got ideas for new ways to exchange value, how justice works, how to keep people safe, new ways for communities to connect, and all the tech needed to make it happen. It's a lot to unpack.
In a good way, though. So our goal today, our mission, if you like, is to kind of wade through this complexity. We want to pull out the core ideas of ERADA.
Yeah, what makes it tick?
Exactly. Highlight some of the most, interesting and maybe surprising parts, and try to see how these different pieces are supposed to fit together, to make a whole society function.
Okay, let's dive right in then. The heart of it seems to be the economy. The ERADA documents propose a pretty radical shift from how we normally think about value, starting with this thing called the ERADA rating system.
Right. So the core of the ERADA economy is this universal feedback system. Everyone who provides any kind of service gets rated out of 100 by the people they actually serve.
Okay.
And this score, this ERADA score, it directly determines their access to goods and services. It's like a constant, direct link between how well you serve others and what you get back.
Right. So it's not just about money in the usual sense. This rating worth idea seems critical.
Yeah.
From what I read, the value of each ERADA point is tied to the cost of the cheapest essential service.
Precisely. So your overall rating basically determines how big a slice of the pie you can access.
Okay.
The system aims to guarantee baseline essentials for everyone. That's fundamental. But the quality of life beyond that, better stuff, nicer services, that's directly tied to your performance rating.
So higher ratings mean more access.
Exactly. It's a built-in incentive, you see,
Yeah.
for providing quality service, for contributing positively.
And it's not static, right?
Yeah.
The rating resets every month.
Yeah.
And there's even a rating demotion if you perform poorly.
That's the idea. Keeps it dynamic.
Yep.
The monthly cycle prevents people from just resting on their laurels. And the demotion threat reinforces the need for consistent quality. It's like a built-in, ongoing performance review across the whole economy.
Interesting. Now, this services rating form you mentioned, it sounds quite detailed. Every service price listed and the highest price sets some kind of benchmark. How does that actually work?
Well, what they seem to be aiming for is transparency and a way to value different services relative to each other. Tying the rating percentage to the most expensive service gives a kind of tangible scale.
Okay.
So you can understand the purchasing power of different ERADA levels. You can see, relatively speaking, what your rating gets you. It also seems to enable things like saving up ratings for bigger things, or maybe even installment plans.
Installment plans using ratings.
Yeah.
That leads to the currency exchange and rating dealing concepts. It sounds like ERADA isn't totally rigid.
No, it seems quite flexible, actually. While ERADA is the main driver, you can convert it to traditional currency based on that value of the lowest rated service again.
Right.
And rating dealing adds another layer. You can break down your rating for smaller purchases, trade ratings with others, maybe even lend them. It creates a sort of marketplace for this reputation-based value.
And it goes beyond just buying stuff. Even leadership promotions, from local districts right up to the international level, are tied to these service ratings.
Yeah, across different leadership tiers.
That's a really direct link between serving people well and, gaining authority.
It suggests a system where the people who consistently get positive feedback from those they serve are seen as the most suitable for more responsibility, a kind of meritocracy based on service.
Makes sense. Then there's human resourcing, driven by service demand. So the economy is designed to be super responsive to what people actually need.
That seems to be the core idea, aligning the workforce with what society actually wants and values, minimizing waste. Businesses are pushed to provide what people will spend their ERADA on. Very demand-driven.
And this all happens through the Akrmna market, this central hub for everything. Businesses, products, services, even those installment options managed by Akrmna.
Exactly. Akrmna Market is the central platform. And Akrmna, which used to be Akrmna Company, is described as the affordable, complete community services company. They seem key to making services accessible, maybe handling the credit or payment plans within the ERADA system.
It's fascinating how they plan for service providers, even banks, to deal in air rate for compensation instead of charging interest. That's a pretty fundamental change.
It is. They're trying to bypass traditional interest-based finance. By letting businesses and banks earn air rate based on their service ratings, their income is directly tied to their contribution within this ERADA ecosystem.
And Akrmna itself seems huge, providing housing, food, fashion, energy, all sorts. Their pricing is interesting too, balancing costs based on the number of workers per service.
The guiding principle seems to be complete services for all of us as equals. But with rewards tied to contribution, the pricing aims for fairness, distributing costs across the workers involved, plus external costs, shared responsibility, shared benefit.
And making it easy to buy and sell, there's a dealing platform for online sales. Features like installments and refunds after testing a product. That seems very pro-consumer.
Yeah, that focus on consumer confidence is noticeable. Letting you essentially try before you fully commit your error could really drive up quality overall.
They also have apps to help manage air rate. A payments options application for interest-free installments and loans, and an expenses awareness application for budgeting, prioritizing essentials. And it sounds like there's even a safety net. Automatic help if your income doesn't cover basic needs. It's like ERADA-style personal finance management.
The integration of those tools suggests, well, an effort to empower people, help them make informed choices with their air rate, and provide that basic security for essentials. Prioritizing necessities fits that core principle of ensuring everyone's basic well-being.
Okay, last bit on the economy. SEDA, a platform connecting entrepreneurs with investors, sharing profits based on work contribution, like built-in venture capital using ERADA.
Yes, this collaborative approach to launching businesses where ideas and effort find funding based on perceived worth and potential contribution, that could be a powerful engine for innovation within ERADA.
Okay, let's pivot now. How does ERADA handle safety, order, security, and governance? The foundation seems pretty direct. You are free, but if you harm, you get the same harm. Whoa.
That principle of reciprocal justice, an eye for an eye, essentially, seems central to their security framework. It puts a strong emphasis on personal responsibility and direct consequences for harm.
They outline a multi-party system. People form parties, elect leaders at different levels, and importantly, there's a clear way to impeach them. Sounds very democratic, very accountable.
The combination of multiple parties, elected leaders at all levels, plus the ability for people to remove leaders. It suggests a strong focus on representation and preventing power concentration, keeping leaders answerable.
And for making decisions, there's a debate method, using polls for public input, and then elected leaders act as judges too, and a hierarchical management method. It's a mix of direct and representative authority.
Interesting, isn't it? Using polls to tap into collective wisdom for solutions, but still having elected leaders interpret and implement them within a structure. The hierarchy provides clear lines of responsibility.
For leaders would use a specific leader application to connect with people, manage tasks, money, communication, track performance, like a digital toolkit for government.
Yeah, a comprehensive one. That dedicated platform suggests a real commitment to transparency, organization, and maybe data-driven governance, integrating all that could streamline leadership and improve communication significantly.
For wider security, they talk about security applications. Things like mandatory government agents and businesses. An emergency application for instant reporting with recording. And this international online court, elected judges, binding rulings. That online court idea is ambitious.
It really is. An international online court with binding judgments is a major departure from traditional geography-based legal systems. Elected judges suggest a move towards public trust. The agents and businesses and the emergency app aim to deter crime and provide clear evidence.
And weapons, highly restricted. Only government agents in necessary situations, and use is mandatorily recorded. A largely unarmed population, it seems.
That strict control reflects a core belief. Fewer weapons equals a safer society. The mandatory recording adds that crucial layer of accountability for official use.
The government's role sounds huge. National safety, health, wealth, pleasantness, even public awareness. But with public input and that online court as checks. Active, but theoretically accountable.
That broad mandate really highlights how comprehensive this ERADA vision is. The emphasis on public input and judicial oversight is meant to prevent overreach, keep government aligned with the people.
Lawmaking involves public discussion, voting, and then the online court reviews it. Again, that mix of direct democracy and judicial oversight.
Yeah, it underscores that commitment to democratic principles in making laws, with the court as a kind of guardian of the overall legal framework, ensuring consistency with ERADA's core principles.
And worth repeating, leaders at all levels, elected by those they lead, can be impeached. Accountability seems absolutely fundamental.
Absolutely. That direct link, the power of impeachment, it's a key mechanism to keep leaders responsive.
Their idea of justice is nuanced, too. Equal retribution for harm, yes, but balanced with rehabilitation and forgiveness. It's not just punishment.
That balanced approach is interesting. It acknowledges accountability, consequences, but also leaves room for growth, reintegration, a more holistic, maybe more humane view of justice.
The sheer range of their security thinking is remarkable. Financial security through ERADA.
Yeah.
Data and control security with backups. Connection security via unique IDs.
Indeed, they're trying to address a whole spectrum of potential vulnerabilities. Tying financial security to service exchange reinforces the economy. The data security focus highlights digital autonomy.
But personal security using recording devices. Physical security like safety wear. Right security via the Leader app. Afterlife security, which sounds more like ethics and relations security, emphasizing community. It's layers upon layers.
What's striking is how they weave tech solutions together with social and ethical principles. It's a very holistic approach to safety and well-being.
Okay, let's dig into some of that tech within security. The Nano Tracker, to stop things getting lost or stolen, connects to your device, but the government can potentially track it too. That raises that classic security versus privacy question, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. It highlights that recurring challenge in designing these big systems. Finding the right balance, collective security versus individual privacy. Government tracking, even with good intent, always brings up potential misuse concerns. Safeguards are crucial.
Their traffic system sounds different too. Focuses on warnings first, penalties only if you ignore them. Seems more proactive, maybe less punitive.
The emphasis on prevention over just punishment is key there. Issuing warnings aims to educate, encourage compliance before things go wrong.
And practical safety things like neutral disaster construction, reinforced ceilings, building slides, and the mobile emergency call app with instant recording and location sharing. Very focused on real-world safety.
Yeah, those show a very practical focus on mitigating harm, from everyday accidents to bigger emergencies, using smart design and accessible tech.
The self-protection gun shoots a taser tracker and records, a non-lethal option for personal defense. That's a big shift from traditional firearms.
It is. Introducing a non-lethal self-defense tool fits that broader philosophy of minimizing harm while still giving people a way to protect themselves. The recording adds accountability to its use, too.
They also talk about a data protection network. Unique IDs, government access only with a court order, and personal cloud servers, where your own devices store shared content. Trying to balance data sharing and privacy online.
Those measures show they're aware of how critical digital security and privacy are now. Requiring a court order for government access is meant as a legal safeguard against overreach.
Okay, switching gears to social innovations. There's a meeting social app available for in-person connections based on who's nearby, like a location-aware app to get people actually meeting face-to-face.
Yeah, trying to bridge that gap between online connecting and real-world interaction. Using digital tools to foster actual, tangible social engagement.
The traditional safe marriage arrangement application is quite something. Involves guardians, detailed profiles with video, public first meetings, documented contracts, guardians as mediators. Very structured, maybe more cautious.
It outlines a framework that blends traditional elements, like involving guardians, with modern tech. The focus on transparency, documentation, mediation. It suggests they're aiming for stable, well-considered partnerships.
Then the club application, creating interest-based clubs, maybe even tied to service eligibility, and districts clubs as physical community hubs with facilities. Sounds like they really want to build community spirit.
Definitely. Focusing on building connections around shared interests and creating physical places for people to gather. Tying clubs into the service economy is an interesting integration point.
And they've even thought about leisure. Jed Modern Martial Arts Strategy Game and Jed Ball Sport Game, both with unique rules. So recreation and friendly competition are part of the plan.
Developing distinct games like that suggests creating shared cultural experiences, unique to ERADA, plus outlets for activity and strategy.
Other social things. A sound and music application. The entertainment shows platform, where users collaborate on stories, vote on plots, share profits, and enhanced PowerPoint platform. Seems focused on new collaborative ways to create and share.
These platforms reflect that desire to maybe democratize content creation, enable more people to participate in art, entertainment, knowledge sharing. The collaborative entertainment platform is particularly novel.
All right, let's venture into the really future tech stuff.
Yeah.
Energy engines, aiming for sustainable power, using magnets, gravity, air, maybe water steam. For homes and vehicles, that's incredibly ambitious.
The quest for sustainable, maybe limitless energy is common in these grand visions. If they could actually harness forces like gravity or magnetism for widespread power, well, that would be revolutionary, fundamentally change everything.
They've even sketched out a programming language, Wiser, based on binary coded letters, word lists, functions with multimedia and sensors, customizable languages, making coding almost like natural language.
The idea of a programming language built around more human-like elements, with built-in hooks for multimedia and sensors, it could massively lower the barrier to entry for software development. Imagine more people being able to create tech, making coding more like writing, perhaps.
Full dimensions, advanced 3D modeling, global networks, super precise measurements that could transform engineering, architecture, manufacturing, global collaboration on design.
Enhanced 3D modeling with real-time global networking and high accuracy would be huge for collaborative design and building projects across distances. Huge efficiency and innovation potential.
The New Earth, a VR interactive world based on real Earth geography. For gaming, learning, social interaction. Like a massive digital twin of our world.
Creating a comprehensive VR world mirroring the real one, integrating all those activities, that's a big step towards a more immersive digital experience. Blurring the lines between physical and virtual, maybe?
And moving 3D in the world, call it 4D, using flying dots of light to make dynamic shapes in the real world. Sounds visually stunning, almost sci-fi. Holograms you can walk around.
The idea of dynamic 3D shapes using controlled light points is fascinating. Potential for entertainment, communication, scientific visualization, a whole new way to interact with information and art.
There's a brief mention of the 1 o'clock, whatever that is, and then ERADA vehicles, super adaptable land, water, air travel, crash-absorbing fabric, even a semi-ERADA vehicle for people wary of flying, the ultimate transport.
That vision of versatile vehicles with advanced safety features speaks to wanting greater personal mobility, resilience in transport. The semi-version shows they're thinking about different comfort levels with tech.
Sea Safe Movement, SSM, mandatory floating breathing tubes for sea vehicles and divers. And the Goldebird Flame Machine project. Sounds very ambitious for personal flight.
These focus on safety and expanding possibilities for travel, exploration, both sea and air, a drive for greater personal freedom of movement.
Water shoes, with air containers, tubes, fins, maybe turbines, and a safety air container for your body. This is like a fun, maybe safer way to get around in water.
Yeah, personal aquatic mobility devices like that could open up new ways to interact with water safely, efficiently, new recreation possibilities.
Finally, in tech, fashion wear. A platform to design your own clothes, using 3D models or drawings, custom fabrics, stickers, personalized fashion design on demand.
That platform taps into that growing trend of personalization, on-demand making. Empowering individuals to express their style through tech could lead to much more diverse fashion.
Okay, let's shift focus one last time. Education and research in ERADA. The education platform aims for universal understanding with editable courses, ratings for teachers, mentorship from business owners, and accreditation based on employment tests, not just certificates. Sounds very practical, focus on actual competence.
The emphasis on demonstrable skills, accreditation based on real-world application, that aligns with making sure education actually translates to competence. The mentorship piece connects learning directly to industry needs. Very practical.
The research platform, collaborative research, needs evidence, mostly video, authenticity checks. And the research arrangement structures it. Age categories, yearly editions, elected authors, focus on practical use. Very structured, community-driven knowledge creation.
The collaborative nature, the emphasis on verifiable evidence, community oversight. It aims for transparency and rigor in research. The structured arrangement provides a framework to organize, share, and apply findings systematically.
Lastly here, social education and AL. A platform to discuss issues, solutions at different levels. Voting on solutions, maybe even programming AI or robots based on popular choices. Plus a reputation system. Sounds like direct participation in shaping the future, even tech development.
That's a fascinating intersection. Public discourse, democracy, and AI. Using popular consensus to guide AI and robot development. That's a novel approach to aligning tech with societal values.
And finally, we land on food innovations. First, honey sugar. Just using honey in different forms to sweeten all drinks. Simple, but maybe healthier than refined sugar.
Yeah, that seemingly simple shift could have significant public health benefits, given the potential pluses of honey over refined sugar.
Then, 8-Meal. A platform for sharing healthy recipes, video, ingredients with options to order ingredient packs. Envisions collaborations. Cooks, suppliers, restaurants, delivery, health certifications, royalties. A whole healthy food ecosystem.
8-Meal looks like it aims to create this vibrant, interconnected food system focused on health and collaboration, connecting everyone from home cooks to businesses with quality checks and fair compensation built in.
That was quite the tour through ERADA. It's clear how interconnected it all is.
Deeply so.
That air-raid economy really is the engine, isn't it? Influencing access, leadership, then security and justice mixing tech with some, well, traditional principles.
And the social innovations trying to build community, new ways to interact, plus those incredibly ambitious tech and education goals.
What really sticks out, I think, are some of those truly original ideas, like the air-raid system itself being both a contribution measure and value exchange.
Right. Or that global online court with binding authority.
Yeah. And the non-lethal self-protection gun. Ideas that really make you stop and, rethink how our own society is set up.
Absolutely.
So for you, our listener who share this fascinating material, we really hope this deep dive gave you a good, solid overview. Comprehensive, but hopefully digestible. We tried to unpack the core ideas, highlight the most thought-provoking bits without getting totally lost.
Which brings us to the final thought, really, for you to mull over. Considering everything we've touched on about ERADA, all its interconnected parts, how feasible do you think it is in the real world with, real people?
Good question.
What parts seem most compelling to you? And what challenges, what unintended consequences might pop up if you tried to implement such a radical transformation?
Exactly. A lot to think about there. Maybe you'll find yourself revisiting bits of ERADA, thinking about how they connect or don't connect to your own ideas about how a society could work, or maybe should work. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.